This installation guide is for a Nissan Rogue. The part installed in this video is a Curt model number 13204 Hitch. You will need the tools seen here to complete this installation.
What's up everyone? The Nissan Rogue can take you to some pretty fun places like camping, trail bike riding, surfing, skiing, and move your family across the country using a U-Haul trailer. So let's go ahead and break down this hitch and install. Okay, you can see that we have a 2-inch receiver. It's got the tow hooks, a cross tube, frame attachment on the passenger side, and a frame attachment on the driver's side. We're going to have 5 attachment points, 2 on the passenger side and 3 on the driver's side. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the vehicle and see all the attachment points underneath and see what we need to move out of the way to get this hitch put on. Okay, so on some Nissan Rogues, you're going to have a paneling covering your frame here and over here on the driver's side. This vehicle does not, but if you do have the paneling, you simply remove it, take it down, and put it back up once the hitch is installed. Next step we want to look at is the hitch is going to be replacing the tow hook here. So to take this out, we're going to be removing 2 bolts up here, 2 bolts on the side of the frame, and then the hitch will bolt right in where we took the 2 bolts out for the tow hook. And then on the driver's side here, we've got 3 weld nuts on the frame. The hardware is going to go right up inside. And to make the hitch install a little bit easier, we're going to go ahead and lower the exhaust. To do that, we need to remove 3 rubber exhaust hangers. 1 on the driver's side, 1 on the passenger side here, and 1 down the center. And before you go touching the exhaust, make sure that it's cooled down so you don't burn yourself. Okay, we're good. We're going to go ahead and lower it down. I'm going to use a strap to support the exhaust so we're not damaging any portion of the exhaust as it's coming down. Okay, so in supporting the vehicle's exhaust, we want to find a good solid place to run your straps around or rope or whatever you're going to be using to support it. I did find a nice cross member right here. It's pretty solid, and it's gonna do what we need it to do for this vehicle. Okay, that'll work right there. So now that we have the exhaust supported, we're going to go ahead and remove the driver's side rubber exhaust hanger bracket first. And I'm spraying it with some soapy water to make it a little bit easier for it to come off the exhaust rod. When you're taking these off the exhaust rods, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can use some exhaust pliers. You can use a pry bar or screwdriver, or a lot of times you can just pull it right off with your hands. Today I'm going to be using exhaust pliers. We don't need to take it off of both rods, just one of them. Okay, now we're moving over to this center rubber exhaust hanger. And again, I'm going to spray it with some soapy water just to make it a little bit easier. And I'll be using exhaust pliers to pull it out. Now we're moving over to the passenger side, the last rubber hanger. Okay, now that we have the exhaust lowered, I'm going to go ahead and remove the bottom bolts first using an 18mm socket. Okay, now that we have the bottom frame attachment bolts out, we're going to go ahead and take off the last 2 bolts holding this tow hook in that are up on the side of the frame here. Okay, now that we have that last bolt taken out, it just comes right out. Okay, now that the tow hook is out, we can see our attachment points for the hitch are going to be this weld nut in the frame and this weld nut in the frame. We will not be using the 2 weld nuts that came out of the side of the frame. We're going to go ahead and put the hitch up to the frame, and it can get a little awkward for you. So we're going to get a set of hands to help us out here. And we will also be using the hardware that's provided by the hitch manufacturer to go up and hold this hitch. And once we get the hitch into place, we're going to go ahead and just secure it, just one bolt on each side. Okay, that's supported on the passenger side. We'll do the same thing on the driver's side. Okay, hitch is supported. We can go ahead and put the rest of the remaining 3 bolts in, one on the passenger side and 2 more on the driver's side. Get them snugged up and then torqued down. Okay, now that we have the bolts snugged up to the hitch and the frame, we're going to go ahead and torque them down using a torque wrench. And the manufacturer of the hitch is asking for 86 foot-pounds. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the driver's side. And now that the bolts are all torqued down, we can go ahead and raise the exhaust back into position. We did see one snag that we're going to run into here, is that the exhaust rod here on the driver's side is nearly right up against the hitch here. So getting the exhaust rubber hanger bracket up there is going to be a little bit tight. I'm going to take it off, take the exhaust hanger bracket off this lower portion and just kind of squeeze it up there. Some soapy water spray on it here. Now we can raise the muffler up. Okay, now we're going to go and put the center rubber exhaust hanger back on the exhaust rod here. I'm just going to raise up with my shoulder on the exhaust tailpipe here to help me get it up into place. That one goes on nice and easy. Okay, now we're over at the passenger side. Getting the rubber exhaust hanger back into place on the exhaust rod, and that'll do it for the exhaust back in. We'll take our strap out. Wow, this hitch came out really nice. You can see that the cross tube is well hidden. The only thing that you can really see is the 2-inch receiver portion here. We've got our toe loops here, and we have a 5/8 inch pin and clip hole that'll hold any of our hitch and towing accessories. This 2-inch receiver hitch is going to be rated at 3,500 pounds gross trailer weight and 525 pounds tongue weight. Tongue weight is going to be unsupported weight like a bike rack or a cargo carrier, and that's right here in your load zone. Anything that moves out further past that will start to reduce your tongue weight capacity. And that'll do it for our hitch for Nissan Rogue.
Once installed, this hitch will measure 14 inches from the inside of the receiver to the ground, 5 inches from the pinhole to the end of the bumper, and 2.5 inches from the end of the receiver to the bumper. To learn more about the products seen in this video, or to schedule an installation by a U-Haul Hitch professional, visit us online today at uhaulhitches.com.